friends, I'm Amy. I'm the Globetrotting Stitcher. It's great to be back with you today. I hope that you have all been well. We have been, as usual, busy, but we're also doing pretty well here on most fronts. We've had an unusually warm weekend, which has been really nice, very springy. Actually, it got up to 73 degrees yesterday, which is unheard of for March, but we certainly are enjoying the break from the cold and the rain. So yeah, it's been great to get outside. We've been doing a bit of the spring yard cleanup that always has to happen this time of year. Gary's been clearing out the back area in our backyard, which had a lot of work to do. There was a lot of work, and it's looking really good back there. Things are starting to get back to a more normal level of busy at work. So I was telling you all in our last video that I was getting ready to host a big delegation, and I'd spent basically like all of my work time since the beginning of the year getting ready for this event. So managed to get through that. It went quite well. I feel like I've lived like 1,000 days since the beginning of January. But yeah, all is well. And I think the event was a good success. So that was fantastic. It feels like a giant weight off my shoulders. I'm not dreaming about it anymore, which is really good. I also wanted to just quickly thank everybody for all the lovely comments and your questions and your general interest in my work. I always hesitate a little bit before sharing too much of that on our channel because this is a cross-stitch channel, and not everybody's interested in international agriculture, so I don't want to bore anybody, but try and keep not too much into the work and as much into the kind of interesting travel bits as possible when I do talk about it. But I really enjoyed hearing from so many of you who indicated that in your comments that you liked hearing about what I'm doing. So just wanted to say thank you for that and for your interest and for your kind and supportive comments. So with that, I think we can just dive right into the stitching. I do have a fully finished object to share with you. I did manage to get one project fully finished. One of my goals for this year is to get through, I don't have a massive backlog, but it's a bigger backlog than I'm comfortable with of finished projects that need to be fully finished. And so I tackled one of my pillow finishes over the last couple of weeks and managed to get it done. So some of you might recall that last year I stitched the Bittersweet Trio by Waxing Moon Designs. There are 3 charts in that pack, and I stitched all 3. And so I fully finished one of those. This is the Crow. I stitched this on a piece of 36 count bee's knees linen by Seraphim using the called for floss. And here it is all done. So I really am pleased with how this turned out. So you can see I used a little bit of kind of a squash colored velveteen by Lady Dot Creates. Did a nice little, just a pretty kind of bittersweet kind of florals looking for this side panel with a couple little buttons as accents. And then on the back used this kind of, it kind of looks like wheat. I'm not sure what it is, but just this nice autumnal print on the back. So I'm still debating with myself whether I want to add some mini pom-pom trim to the outside of the pillow, but I feel like I might be on the verge of like too much rather than just enough. So haven't made that decision yet, but at any rate, going ahead and showing it here because it is for all intents and purposes fully finished, and I'm really pleased with it. This one, I spent a couple of days kind of looking at my fabric options and thinking about what I wanted to do, but I was really happy with how it turned out. So that is the first of the 3, and hopefully you'll be seeing the other 2 here in the next couple of videos as I have time to get around to fully finishing them. But I'm so excited to have this done. I'm looking forward to using it when fall comes around this year and can start decorating for autumn.
Well, you didn't ask my opinion, but...
Oh, what is your opinion? This is your first time seeing this.
No pom-poms.
No pom-pom?
No, it's pretty, I don't mean busy in a derogatory sense, but it's kind of busy as it is with the floral print, and then you get it would just seem like it would be something you'd find if you put pom-poms on there. It seems like you'd find something in the thrift store, in the clearance bin. If you put the pom-poms
Sir,
on.
you have gone too far.
But that's just my opinion.
Don't-
If you want pom-poms, put pom-poms.
Well, that was kind of my impression too, is that especially because that's a little bit of a busier fabric there. So thank you for your opinion. This is the first time you've seen.
You're welcome. Nice to
Move
share.
on. All right. So let's go into whips. Just have a few things to share with you just because we're kind of back on a regular every 2 weeks filming schedule. So that means we don't have quite as many projects to show, but that's okay. So the first whip that I'm going to show you is my seasonal design. I am stitching Easter Peep Parade by With Thy Needle and Thread. I'm using a piece of 32 count in the pink linen by R&R Reproductions, and I'm using the called for flosses. Excuse me. So the last time you saw this was a brand new start, and I had just gotten a little bit of kind of the flowers done, but wasn't fully finished with stitching those, and then it started outlining the kind of the broken egg cart or the half egg cart that the flowers are sitting in. So here's where this is now. And this one has been stitching up incredibly quickly. In fact, if I hadn't been stitching on this the week that I was in Seattle for, hosting my meetings and was having very long days and working nights and so on, I think this would probably have been a finish. So it will certainly be a finish the next time it comes up in the rotation, but this was just so much fun to stitch. Again, love the colors on this fabric. I think it's wonderful. So you can see I've finished stitching, well, I'm almost done stitching all the little chicks. I have now fully outlined the bunny and I'm working on the fill-in there. Finished stitching the egg cart and then the flowers, and then there's these pretty little white flowers that are sprinkled across the top, and so I've stitched most of those, and I'm working on doing the flower centers still. But yeah, I'd say 1 to 2, probably 2 nights on this when it comes back out, and that should finish it off. So really, really enjoyed this. It's fun, easy, comfort stitching, and I just think it's very sweet. So also very appropriate to be stitching something in season as spring is coming upon us. So that is Easter Peep Parade. Okay, the next whip that I will show you is my my weekend stitch. So I am stitching Butterfly Port Mauve by Heaven and Earth Designs on a piece of 28 count white easy grid Lugana. I'm doing this 2/1 using a combination of half stitch and continental stitch. And the last time you saw this, I was just continuing to work. I had mostly done some more background. You were starting to see at the bottom of the spray of kind of flower buds that I've been working in for a while. We had another leaf that was starting to show up and a curlicue vine that was coming in underneath that. Over the last month, I have put in about another 11, not quite 1,100 stitches. And let me show you where it is right now. So if you've been watching me stitch this for a while, you might see that I have now moved my Q-snap down yet again. So clearly making some more progress. I'm almost now done with this leaf that just kind of came into view and started getting outlined last time. Have filled in more of the background down here. But I think one of the things that I'm a bit more excited about is you can start to see the edges now of this beautiful peach flower that is coming in underneath this spray of flower buds. And right now it's a lot of the darker like accent oranges. So it's like some of the colors that are in there, you're like, trust the designer because that's a really bright orange. And of course, when all the colors get in there, it all blends beautifully and it looks just like it's supposed to. But it's nice to be moving down and seeing a new element coming into the design. And so it is this beautiful kind of peachy flower that I'm going to be starting to really focus on as this progresses over the next couple of months. So that's where I am on Butterfly Port Mauve. And as always, enjoying how this is coming together. It's one of those pieces that, because I only put in, roughly 250 stitches a week, in any given week, it feels like I'm barely making progress. I'm crawling on this. But when you open it up and you kind of get like the full look at how it's coming along, you're like, wow, I've really made progress on this. So, yeah, love how that's coming together. Okay, so next we are going to go to Gary, and we're going to hear from him about his progress on Louis Armstrong.
Well, okay. So I'm working on Louis Armstrong by Stitching Jewels Designs with 16 count white Aida, I guess, if I remember correctly. Anyway, the last time that you saw it, I think I was still working on page 2. And I'm still working on page 2. So here's what it looks like now. So essentially, I've got like the bell of the trumpet done, and now I'm working my way back. If you look at the very top, and I guess from your perspective, right, you'll see a little bump. That's Louis's pinky. It says pinky finger. And so that's where I am. I was hoping to get done with page 2 by now, but I did not. And that's because there's a lot more. There's more stitching than I thought, and I just didn't do as much cross stitching as I thought I would. So there's the 2 reasons. Anyway, that's where I am, and I'll keep working on it. And but I do have a question though. I find that I made the decision to be a monogamous stitcher, and I get really bored with this one. So I'm like, should I start another simple one so that I can at least, shift my focus? And then you'd get more cross stitch per episode. Anyway, so let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. So the question is basically, should I start a second one to fight the tedium and boredom, or just stick with it? Just keep going. What are your thoughts? Anyway, and I think we have a question section later. Somebody asked me a question, so I'll answer that later in the question section. Anyway, I have no more to say, and I think we're almost out of time anyway. So here we go.
Way to keep to the schedule, honey. It is a very slippery slope to do multiple whips, just so you know. Anyway, all right, so we have one more whip that we're going to show you today, and that is mine. So I have spent the last several days working on my fancy lady, which is Rose of Sharon by Mirabilia.
You were going to say rose trellis.
I was. I am stitching this on a piece of 32 count Meadowview Lugana by Fabric Flair. This is a printed fabric, not a hand-dyed fabric. And I am really loving this. So the last time you saw this, I had filled in more of the kind of flowers and greenery that's on the arch, at the top of the arch. That's a dense bit of stitching up there. But so I was working on that. I had finished the face of the cherub and gotten that back stitched so you could actually kind of see that clearly. I also stitched the arms of the woman, which I am stitching the skin 2/1 using half stitches. So I stitched the skin of the woman, or not the skin, what is my words today? I'm telling you, friends. I had stitched her arms, and had then just started to stitch like the little cap sleeves of the gown. So here's where she is right now. So as you can see, I've continued to work up here in this arch. I've been primarily working on the left side, kind of the left center, working my way down toward the flowers that she's kind of like smelling, I guess. I don't know what she's doing with the flowers, but she's doing something with those flowers. So I've been kind of working my way down to that. But for me, what was more exciting was I got to come over, and I am all done stitching the skin. which was really exciting. So I did her face, neck, and then her the back, where she's got an open back to her gown. I've stitched her hair. As you can see, I've done all the back stitch. And then I've carried more of her gown down further. So now she's got quite a bit of her bodice in. And then I'm starting to stitch in kind of the some of the layers of her gown, which is a beautiful, oh my goodness, the words are just not there today. But yeah, it's a beautiful dress. Anyway, I've really been enjoying working on this one. It's been a really enjoyable piece to work on this week. So I've been having a good time with it. So that is Rose of Sharon. Okay, so that's it for whips. So let's go ahead and go into the Q&A. We did have a couple of questions that came in on our last video. And the first one, I'm going to go to Gary. So this one came from Gladys Ieza. And Gladys said, when Gary shows his action figures, does he have a collection and can he show them?
Hi, Gladys. Thanks for asking. Sorry. Thanks for asking, Gladys. Yes, I do have a collection of action figures. And I'm humming right now because I don't know what else to say. But while I'm doing this, there'll be pictures of my collection appearing. So I'm just kind of doing filler sound for the background. But I do have a fairly extensive collection. The pictures that I'm showing now are of what I have displayed now, but I have way more that are not displayed, and it's a shame. But yeah, I have quite a few of them. I'm not sure why, but I do. I like them.
When did you start collecting?
Well, I had a pretty extensive collection when I was a kid, but then when I joined the Navy, my mom moved and anything that I had was gone. So I didn't really collect again because I was a grown man at that time. Until I had my son. And of course, he wanted action figures, and they started coming out with cooler action figures. So I started collecting them too. So I started in the 90s, held off a little bit in the 2000s because that's when my son was born, 1999. And then I restarted after he was out of the house and I had a little more money. But yeah, that's when I started.
Okay, so then we had a couple of questions that came in for me, and these are both related to the globetrotting part of last time's update, and related to my job. So the first is from Sarah Martin, and she said, I'm blown away by what you do for your career. I have so many questions for you, but I'm afraid that my fingers will get too tired asking them all. But I will ask you, how and when did you become aware of your job, and when did you start? So I would say I became aware of my job probably 13, 14 years ago, which is when I started at the organization that I work for now. So I have been with the organization a very long time. And I actually came in sort of through the operations and program management kind of side of things. I didn't come in with any sort of specialized knowledge in agriculture or anything along those lines. I actually came into a completely different part of the organization. And then gradually, after a couple of years, I moved over into our agriculture team. But so I learned more about this kind of work when I came to the organization, more in that operational capacity. And then I spent a lot of my initial time with my organization, probably the first 7 or 8 years. I worked in a purely operational capacity. I did sort of the portfolio management side of our programming. And so I was partnering really closely with our external partners and with program officers, which is what I am now. But the people who have sort of that technical expertise, I was partnering with them to develop and manage the different programs and projects that we're working on. And over time, just really developed a personal interest and passion for the things that we're working on, and began learning and kind of picking up knowledge as I was working with people who are experts in the field. And so I'm a little bit unusual in my organization because I didn't come into this role with specialized expertise, which is normally how people come in. I came in really more, like I said, from that operational program management, project management sort of specialty, and then have picked up more of the technical knowledge along the way. So I'm what they call a generalist as far as my specialization is being generalized. But yeah, that's kind of how I came into it, was just coming into the development sector and learning about it as I worked in other parts of that field.
But she's not telling you that she also worked her job, I would say 40 hours a week, but we all know this is America and there's no such thing as a 40-hour work week. But she was working, and she also went to school while she was there to, complete her education. So she showed them basically that she's capable and determined, and that's part of why she has the job she has. She didn't just fall into it; she worked real hard to get there. I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you, honey. So the next question is from Deanna Tobias, and Deanna asked, so your degree is in agricultural engineering, chemistry. So I think I kind of backdoor answered this in my previous answer. No, I don't have a specialized agriculture degree or chemistry degree. I do work with a lot of folks who have PhDs. So the team that I work with, which is a really large team, we have experts we have a number of PhDs who, it's like microbiologists and, people who have all of this really specialized, like breeders, plant breeders, and so on and so forth. And so I worked with that group for a really long time, but I was not interested in getting a PhD in like biology or anything like that. And now I'm working more on like the agriculture delivery side, where we have a lot of like economists and policy experts and agriculture markets experts. So my degree is actually in business management. I am looking at getting more of a generalized master's degree in international development or in like ag policy or agricultural economics, just because that would be really useful for the kind of work I'm doing right now. But I'm taking some more specialized courses as I have time. As far as that's concerned, I'm truly more of I've picked up some of the more specialized knowledge along the way, and I have a more general degree in business management. So, okay. So I think that's it. Let's just quickly talk about what our plans are, and then we'll let you get on to your next video. So I'm going to spend one more day working on Rosa Sharon, see how much farther I can get on her. And then I'm going to spend a week working on my wild card stitch, which is cabin fever. Really looking forward to getting back to that one. It's starting to really take shape now. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to spend some time on. And after that, I will spend a week working on my full coverage, which is Rose Trellis In. And I'm also really looking forward to getting back to that. It's been a bit, it's just kind of gotten short shrift the last few times it's come up in the rotation. And so I'm excited to get a full week on it to see how much farther I can get it. Obviously, we'll continue working on my weekend stitch, Butterfly Port Mauve, as much as possible. And then Gary will continue to work on Louis Armstrong. And so hopefully we'll see a little bit more of Mr. Armstrong's pinky the next time we film an update. So I think that kind of does it for us today. We hope that you are all doing well. We hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having good weather, not bad. We're certainly enjoying kind of the beginning of the transition to spring here in the Pacific Northwest. If you like our videos, we hope you will subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Please feel free to leave a comment. We really do enjoy reading your comments, interacting with you. We really appreciate your messages and the time that you take to share those with us. If you want to get an update or a notification when we put a new update up on YouTube, you can hit the little bell and it will send you a notification. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm globetrotting_stitcher. And you can reach out to me over email at globetrottingstitcher@gmail.com. So with all of that, we are wishing you happy stitching, and we hope that you have no visits from the frog over the next couple of weeks. We'll look forward to seeing you really soon. Take care and happy stitching. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. We didn't tell them about your action figures.
We already said bye, though.
No, we'll say goodbye again.
All right. Those are the action figures.
No, tell them who they are.
What do you tell them?
No, because I can't remember their name.
I can't either. One of them's name is Statler, and the other one is the other old guy. They're from the Muppet Show. So all of you ancient folks who saw the Muppet Show when it was first broadcast, these are the two critics who seem to be enjoying this one. So there we go.
Never mind. I can't make my goodness.
I don't know what that was.
Aren't you glad you married me?
Most of the time, yeah.
But especially today.
And they sound more like this. Right.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a great show if you like, bad. Anyway, that's how they sound.
Well, there you go, folks.
One of them.
That was all for
We're
you.
going to say goodbye again because we've gone too far.
Yes, we have. Happy stitching. Bye-bye, everybody.